voice acting, everything about it was just rad, and it had perfect callbacks to the game. So I said my piece. What'd you think?
Thought it was awesome. I didn't know what to expect because I didn't know anything about the property before. And I was just like, okay, Castlevania, blah 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 blah. Okay, let me see what this. What is Drew talking about over here? And pleasantly surprised with the animation. Pleasantly surprised with the gore. The violence was on point.
Great too. The part where
yeah.
the part that messed you up, I already know. I think it's like episode 2. Trevor's walking in the city. It's all blocked off. It's the night after the demons attack. And you see that pack of demons is running off and it's got the baby in its mouth. You're like, oh!
That was crazy. And even just, I like his banter with the priest.
Oh, the demon?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
That was such a satisfying moment in the show, man. How do you think I got in here? The Lord protects me. I'm like, the Lord's looked at your work and he thinks you suck. Like, we like you. Us demon folk, we love you, man. So good. I watching it like the first time. It's 4 episodes, and you're thinking, okay, are they going to? There's no way by the time the episode 4 comes, I'm like, there's no way they're gonna wrap up all this stuff that they've set up with Dracula and stuff like that in the span of 10 minutes, right? And then they get to the chamber and they introduce Alucard, and I'm like, no, there's no way. This whole season has just been a setup. Like, it's strictly just about the group coming together. You got is it Sylph? How do you pronounce her name? Sylph or Sylv? Sylv? Anyway, you got the mage chick, you got my boy Trevor, and you got Alucard. They meet up, they clash for a bit, but then it's like, all right, let's assemble. We got to take out my dad. What I think was hilarious though about that one, what was hilarious about that one, Dracula, aka Papa, to Alucard, whooped his ass so bad that Alucard was like, I need to go lay down for a year to recuperate.
I do have a question.
So rad.
I have a question. I've been a fan of all the Castlevania video games. Didn't see the anime. Do you think they would try to make this into a live action?
I heard that they were for a while, but it just kind of never developed.
Because if you look at a lot of the vampire / movies right now, they're kind of so stale. It's like the brand is stale. So maybe that might bring new life into it. You know, you never know.
We're trying to recover from the Twilight era vampires. That's why, man. They're just now trying to be scary again. So,
you mean they're not all just cute little 90210 kids?
Contrary to popular, basic chick belief, no, it's not how they were actually. They're actually rather terrifying in the lore.
I don't know if this is going to make sense what I'm going to say. That whole Twilight to me, I think I saw the first couple ones. It was almost like boy band, girl band type.
That's totally what it was. Totally what it was. You know what the polar opposite of that was, though? Or no, I can't even say that anymore. I was going to try to transition from that to D23, which just went down, but I can't because it's tailored mostly for kids. So I can't use that. I can't use that joke.
But since you mentioned it.
But since I brought it up anyway, segue's a segue. The biennial, as I learned, Expo, D23 just went down, Anaheim, California. It's been held there for the last 4-5 meetings now. It's basically just Disney's way of flexing and making their own Comic-Con, essentially, and using that as kind of a spring to what we were talking about before the show. Comic-Con, I want you guys both to definitely weigh in on this one. Comic-Con needs to watch itself.
Oh, they do need to watch themselves.
They need to watch themselves. Why? Because I'd say about half, between 50 and 60 some odd % of Comic-Con's venue, attractions, what makes people want to go is their Marvel stuff and their Star Wars stuff, right? Disney now owns both of those properties. And they are not, if you've looked at the news lately, they are not wasting any time in taking those things to like the next level. They're going full throttle with advertising. They're making their rides, their attractions. They're doubling down on the films, all that stuff. They have enough to make their own convention now. And they tested them. They pulled all their Marvel stuff that were supposed to, I think it was like a year or two ago. I'm not sure on the timeline. They didn't show any of their Marvel stuff at Comic-Con. And it gave kind of Warner Brothers that opportunity to showcase their stuff. But when you got 65% of your venue just gone, that's going to make your numbers suffer. That will make your numbers suffer. So if Disney, if Comic-Con starts talking slick, Disney can just easily be like, you know what? Y'all don't get no Marvel stuff this year. Y'all don't get no Star Wars stuff this year. We're gonna just show it at D23 when we're good and ready to.
that's like getting punched in the throat. And even if you looked at like some of the clips of D23 and some of the actors, you were talking to them, they're like, "Oh, we thought there were gonna be like 100 people," and they're like, you look out to the crowd, it was like 7,000 plus people. They're like, we didn't think that many were coming out. Those are dangerous numbers, man.
Yeah, man, that's
and
like.
And you said it's exclusive, right? If they opened the doors to that thing,
quote me on that, but yeah, I think it's like it started off as like a club membership type of thing, and
have the doors on that bad boy.
They won't have enough space.
Open.
It's that simple. They will not have enough space. Which, yeah, it's like, oh man, if you were to sit up there and take the numbers from Comic-Con, which are significant, I'm not even like scoffing at it. You took those numbers and then cut that almost in half, and you had them transported to another place, right? Which is in Anaheim, or held around. It's not around the same time, is it? When does Comic-Con go down again for San Diego?
Oh, San Diego's in what, July, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think it's July. When you say Comic-Con, I'm thinking New York Comic-Con.
You guys think in New York, and that's in October.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I get them twisted up all the time. Take those numbers, almost half the numbers from Comic-Con San Diego, and take them over to D23. That's its own self-sustaining thing right there. So they need to be careful.
They need to tread
we did see some really cool stuff there this year at D23. Seven, I'm not sure which pitch you're showing, but the ones that have me pretty excited, Kingdom Hearts 3, they did show some dope footage of that, making me wait 18 years to get the third game when I got 9+ side games that I've never played. We finally have a year for that one. I guess, again, they've said this a couple times. 2018 is going to be the drop year for that. Finally getting my dream come true where Sora and the others are in Toy Story Land, and they become toys. And it looks like it's going to be so bomb because I actually get to play with Woody and Buzz Lightyear and the aliens. If they got my Martians in the game and there are summons, it's business. Okay, I'm sold. They're also going to have Big Hero 6 is going to be a playable world in that one. They announced that, I want to say, a couple years ago at least. That's going to be a thing. So Baymax, the other crew, they're going to be there. That's rad. We're going to go back to Olympus, and we're going to have Hercules involved in the mix. It's going to be dope. Yeah. I just think it's ridiculous how loyal the Kingdom Hearts fans are because they've made us wait so damn long for this game that it doesn't even make sense.
Heck, they're more loyal than the darn Call of Duty fans, man. So you got...
we can't tell. We kind of got to just be like, you know what, Call of Duty, we understand you, man. You won't. That's a horse you just can't quit. Okay, I see you. We've been there. We've been there. But probably the biggest news to come out of D23 thus far is the unveiling of Marvel's Avengers Infinity War I guess is it still a part 1? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's just on they're going to do part 1 and part 2.
Unless they change that, and I'm just not remembering, but they, in particular, they unveiled who Thanos's, I guess, posse is going to be, and they are the Black Order. Couple things I want to take this with you guys tonight, because they basically, people thought that they were the Fantastic Four, that somehow they got the rights, and low-key they're going to try to put them into the film. Not the case. Thanos' crew, these guys got made, they're integrated into the comics in 2013. So they're really new when it comes to the comic lore, and when it comes to Thanos. I'm actually a little irritated about this. Because if you guys remember, at the end of Age of Ultron, right? The post-credit scene. What do we see Thanos doing? Gets the gauntlet, and he's like, basically, screw it. I'm going to do it myself. You didn't say, screw it. I'm going to have the Black Order and me go down to Earth and do it. We've never heard about these guys until just a couple days ago. Right. They weren't around in Guardians of the Galaxy. No one's mentioned them in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 or any space-related stuff in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It just feels a little disingenuous to me.
I don't even, now, quote me if I'm wrong, I don't even remember them being in the original Infinity Gauntlet.
They weren't. They were.
Thanos was fighting everybody by himself.
They were introduced. They didn't come around until 2013. So this is way after Infinity came out. And the run that they came out in, if I'm remembering it correctly, was Avengers Infinity, which was like a big special, fancy schmancy event that went down in the newer comics.
Mm-hmm.
And they were under the Black Order, and they also went by the name McCull Obsidian.
Wow.
So they're new. They're brand new, and they're basically just like, think of them as Thanos' like Black Ops crew.
Or
they're his A team.
Check
right?
this out. We can even take it a step up. They're like the Four Horsemen for freaking Apocalypse almost.
Exactly. I thought that's what they were at first. When they introduced them, just like, wait, is this the Four Horsemen, but like cosmic level? But no, that's like you're exactly right. They're his Four Horsemen. And it's a cool idea, but it kind of bugs me, the idea that, I'm going to do it myself, except that's not really true. I'm going to do it with my Black Order guys, who we didn't even see. When Ronan was acting a fool in Guardians of the Galaxy, why didn't he just send one of his big bad, super powerful, small dwarf? Where was where was the Maw? Where was this other character who we're supposed to know already if they existed? It just seems late. Like they added on last minute. To me, it's like how we're always saying the new comics now, they're trying to like use themselves as like a low-key script material type of thing. It just seems like some half-hearted attempt to nudge these characters and these brand new characters that we've never heard before into the films. I don't know.
Understand that. I mean,
Ebony Maw, Black Dwarf, Proxima Midnight, and I think Supergiant, but I might be wrong. I can't remember the last person's name. I think it was
now, what's going to be crazy is like you're going to have a clash sort of fans. Because I remember, I have like I said, the original Infinity Gauntlet books. I know those pretty well. Yep. So you'll have that old stuff, the original stuff mixed with this new stuff. So how much is it really going to match, from the original material? Is it going to be like another thing like Old Man Logan, loosely based on?
It has to. It can't be anything but, Charles. Like, think of just the number of characters who were involved in that run, right? And you had Silver Surfer. More than half the characters they didn't even have access to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming like next to none will be from the source material. You'll have certain shots, certain beats and poses and stuff from the comics. But aside from the basic premise, it's not going to resemble.
Yeah, you need Silver Surfer in there too. He was a huge part of
it. Yeah.
Warlock, Doctor Doom. He kind of messed everything up.
Like so not there. So
yeah, man. So,
but we'll see. I'm going to check it out. We'll check it out. But one thing that I did check out this weekend, the third Planet of the Apes movie, it was War for the Planet of the Apes. Probably one of the longer movie titles that I've come across in the last couple of years. But, Seven, you kick us off since you actually did watch this one. Shots fired. Shots fired. Oh, no.
Bum, bum, bum.
Hey.
Okay. I'm sorry.
All right, let me say something. If you thought the first one was good, and if you like the second one, then you're going to love this one. Point blank. It's definitely worth seeing in the movies. I think you're going to, you're definitely going to get the sound played a very strong role in the production. They did a really great, of course, the first thing people jump into about CGI, but just the sound work in that film was really, really good. And I think a lot of people are probably going to miss that. But yeah, speaking of the CGI, every film, they take it up to the next level. They definitely take their time with that. As far as the script-wise, I had some issues. And Drew, I'll let you talk first before I go into that to see if you pick up on the same things. But
plot-wise, okay. Let me just to kind of add fuel to your flame that you started off. It looks amazing. The locales, the way that it was shot, the expression on these apes, like for them to be like the protagonist. I say this every time I walk out of a Planet of the Apes movie.
Right.
I've never seen a movie play quite like this. A dystopia where 80% of the acting that you see are from from CG creatures and mocap, but it's done so freaking well. Right. Like the facial expressions, the emotion, just the way how they communicate, it's freaking gorgeous. I love it.
There's no way they're not going to get another Oscar nod.
If for nothing else, visual effects. They have earned that straight up. Right. If not the outwin, then a nomination is guaranteed for these guys.
Right.
But script wise, a little stupid at times. Right. And I'm sitting there, and you got your boy. It starts off intense as hell because you got these soldiers now, like regimented, trained military guys who are straight up beeping and going to war with the apes, with Caesar and his crew, right? Mm-hmm. After that, it turns into like a revenge story with Caesar and his day ones. You got my boy Maurice. You got my dude Rocket. You got my big gorilla dude Luca. Characters like that, they're animals, but you totally know their personalities and their like emotions and stuff. It's great. And then some stupid stuff goes down. There's this virus. It inhibits you of your ability to speak. Woody Harrelson's the main villain, comes through, kills Blue Eyes and Cornelia, his wife and his eldest son. And he goes and just stuff just kind of goes wrong. Like the plot.
The major turning point that took me out of the film when the ape was like, hey, we have to, the girl, she can't survive on her own. We have to take her. What? Hello?
And here's the thing. I kind of let that slide with Maurice because Maurice, straight up, he's my boy, right? He's a linguist, okay? He's a pacifist, and he is that kind of like bleeding heart. But the fact is, what bugged me is that this little girl, right, was with her dad. She was hiding out. Mm-hmm. These apes kill her dad, and she doesn't react. She's completely just calm. If not calm, then just kind of like just dead, right? And she just becomes like, she's just cool with it. Another thing with Luca, when did he and her bond? Where he takes the flower and he puts it in her hair, and then the next scene he's freaking dead and she's devastated. I'm like, when did that happen? When did that bond? If it had been Maurice, that would have made sense because they show that they actually do have that moment where they connect, right? And she's learning sign language from, I'm thirsty, that whole thing. But and then you had Bad Ape, who was the funny one. He was like,
wait, just wait a minute, bro. If the whole point is you have this disease, right? Where basically mankind goes in the reverse as far as intellect.
We lose our ability to speak. Yeah.
How did this girl pick up sign language so quickly? If humans are downgrading in intelligence, it seemed that she was picking up the speed really quick. That by the end of the film, she was able to communicate with them.
I thought that too, but I think it just inhibits your ability to speak. Which that was when I thought for a minute that it does de-evolve you, that it makes you dimmer, but it didn't.
That's what they said later on in the film, and that's why I had a problem with the script, because he actually said that.
That's what Woody Harrelson said.
Right.
From his perspective, he saw it as us being, but he was crazy, right? And in his mind, the fact that his son, who we find out also had the disease prior to that, the fact that that was what his fate was, he just decided that was just a blight on all of humanity, which I thought was kind of a stupid motive. Like, it sucks. You lost you didn't even lose your son. You killed your son after he got that virus, right? And then you decided that the virus itself was just this thing that was essentially stripping away our humanity, which it kind of was. It was an oddly poetic virus, if you really stop and think about it. But it was parts of it, there were plot holes like that without getting too much into it, because that's a whole other video in itself that I could go in on with my problems with some of the other parts in this movie. Like, for example, towards the end, you had Preacher, the one Latino dude who had the crossbow, right? He shoots Caesar, boom, and Caesar's trying to blow up the gas bunker, which is just pouring gasoline all over the base. Nobody thought to reinforce that or hide that or put it somewhere out, like where it's not in the open if they were going to be attacked by other humans, right? That thing's about to go up. He's got his thing of grenades. He's about to chuck it. He gets shot. Preacher's sitting right there. The traitor ape, I call him Judas, right? The one donkey ape, 7, right?
Yeah.
The betrayer. He all of a sudden decides that he wants to redeem himself. After beating the crap out of my boy Caesar and every other ape he's come across, he decides he wants to redeem himself. Takes the grenade launcher, right? Grenade launcher, which doesn't have a controlled friggin' range when it comes to firing, just so happens to shoot the perfect shot that takes out Preacher and leaves Caesar and the grenades unscathed. Perfectly fine, like they had a force shield around him or something. I'm just like,
wait. Let's go back a little bit. How did that little girl walk into the base? Okay, first of all, let's just look at this. You have a base with everyone is high tension, tons of equipment, tons of men. They know that there's another army. The only other lasting army in society happens to be north of them, and they're coming at any moment. And you can't see this little girl walking on the base?
I thought, and when I'm watching the movie, I'm like, okay, she can just walk in because she's a human, and if they see her, they won't mess with her, right? No, because when she goes up to Caesar, who's in the cage, my boy's starving, he's been beaten, he got that roots treatment, he's all messed up, right? He's sitting there and he's like, you need to go, because if they find you, they will kill you, right?
Right.
And I'm like, well, how'd she just walk in? Who do you guys have on guard? Are they blind? Were they asleep? Were they beating off? What happened? Why did no one see this kid just straight up just stroll into the base and just start walking around, toting food and water? It didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense whatsoever. So yeah, again, problem with the script. It was kind of stupid in some parts, but overall, I did really enjoy it.
Right.
It definitely did have its moments.
The magic overpowered.
At the end of the day, I definitely got to say that the emotion and the performances and the way like the film was shot and the way that it looked was dope. It's an entertaining film. It has good emotional moments, but the script kind of stupid.
Need some tweaking. Huh? All right. Yeah. Well, I'll still probably go.
Check it out. I definitely would. I'd still recommend it.
Wait. What was that guy? It was interesting social commentary. What was his character's name? Do you remember?
Bad Ape. That was his name because that's what they always called him in the zoo.
Okay.
Bad Ape.
Bad Ape was interesting because it kind of showed, in a way, how someone that was born in an institution and how they just became super passive and super agreeable. I thought there was like a kind of like a psychological profile you could create around that character.
Yeah, if you wanted to take it there,
yeah,
there was a really interesting route that they went with this one where you had the dueling faction of apes. There were the apes that were helping the humans, and then there was Caesar and his crew. And I'm thinking, did they develop some way of brainwashing or like mentally, like it was some sort of like Pavlovian response thing that they had them on to make them subservient? No, they did it just because they know that because humans have greater numbers, that Caesar and his crew could easily be screwed up. So of their own volition, they align themselves with the humans, but it's this completely degrading, messed up thing where they spray paint donkey on their backs, they take away their names, they treat them like crap, they brand them. I'm just like, there's a pretty interesting commentary with that bit as it goes with like people and how different classes and races of people treat each other in society. So
yeah. Also,
it has its moments. It has its moments.
I was a little tight how they just jumped into there's no way to say it, the slavery mode where they started whipping. I was like, really, guys? You have to go there? Really?
You know, they always
there's some pretty disturbing stuff in this one though when it comes to showing like the apes like beating each other with the whips and how they treat them, and they like basically low key crucified them, which I thought, all right, now we're just into just balls crazy territory.
Right.
Yeah, it was out there in some parts. So
if you don't want to spend the money, I understand. You know, you definitely should see it. You know, you definitely should see it. I'll say it that way legally.
In the words of Jackie Chan's uncle from the animated series, one more thing. So, 7, back me up on this one.
I will.
Part when Caesar's in the cage, right? And Nova, the little girl, she walks up and she drops the doll into the cage.
Oh, yeah.
And later on, McCullough, Woody Harrelson's character, finds it. Where'd this come from? Let me take it back to my room and mess with it.
Right.
So I can, let me touch all over it so I can get the disease since I don't know where this thing came from.
Right.
Good stuff, mate.
And you know what?
Really?
You know, it was like, I hate to say it, but a lot of things that happened in the film, like you knew Donkey was going to at some point redeem himself because they kept pushing, and he kept, you knew that, there was a little twist, but you knew that as soon as he picked up that doll, you knew. Because remember in the beginning, the girl had blood coming out of her nose.
She had blood coming out of her nose, and then she took Maurice handed her the doll, and she was touching all on it.
Right.
So I didn't think that they were going to do that. I thought it was going to be Preacher, the soldier dude, because he's the one that shows the most emotion out of the soldiers for the most part, besides rage and just being a dick, right? I thought he was going to sit up there and turn and help Caesar, but they completely flipped it on its head because 6 seconds later, he gets blown to bits by Judas.
Right.
They go with the grenade launcher. So I'm just like, oh, fake out. Okay, all right. But yeah.
Well, that's the time we have. We pretty much went through everything. That's what's up.
Yeah.
You can say
So Charles, did we convince you to see it?
I'm gonna go see it. Like I said, I was a fan of the other ones,
Okay.
so I'll go check it out.
You don't have to do 3D.
No,
Nah.
I think 3D is a big ripoff on a lot of movies.
If you want IMAX, because that's how I saw it, and I thought it was really dope. The visuals were awesome. The sound was amazing in IMAX. But 3D, who cares?
Half the movies you don't even look like 3D. I think like the animated films, you can see some 3D, but the other ones you don't see.
They don't shoot it for that. They kind of just
get good visuals and sound. You're fine. Good play.
definitely. All right. Well, thank you very much, Charles. Thank you, Drew. You're watching Eclectica. Go to sevnetwork.com, SEVnetwork.com. Check out some trailers. I have some gripes on some of the trailers that I put up this week. So check that out. We'll talk about that next week.
I will have some trailers to put up this week.
Cool.
And check us out on the gram.
Definitely. Yes,
Out there
the
too.
Instagram. All right.